Hey there paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's another crazy geek crafter. After last week's appreciation cards for the mothers, it is time for cards for the fathers. So I have once again 3 to make, and I'm going to start out by folding the card bases. This is going to be very simple cards. Off screen I have designed a sentiment that I cut out with my ScanNCut, and now just need some backgrounds for some different interests. First up is the one I don't have any of in pattern paper. It's football, or soccer if you prefer. And this is the only one I have stamped with a football, soccer ball. Therefore this choice was very easy. I'm just going to stamp it out in black. The ball is normally, traditionally I would say, white and black, unless of course it's for some championship. They have a special ball made with some design, some colors, something, so that they can sell more balls. The balls and the stars I'm going to need to fill in the smaller spaces. Going to stamp out with my favorite things, hybrid ink. I knew I was going to do some distressing on the edge, so I needed it to be waterproof. And I didn't know if I was going to do any coloring with my Shin markers, so this was the perfect choice. Now that I have decided that my panel is finished, I just need to pick a size for the panel. And I'm going to choose the second biggest of these dies from Simple and Basic. And I just have to remember which way the sentiment is turning, and that will be upright. Now I have to pick a piece of this paper. Now this is for the father who has an interest in cars. Maybe not this old cars, but also in engineering and programming, so I figured this was the vintage version. And it does bother me a bit. I had to cut out something in the middle of the sheet, but I didn't have any other plans for the paper, so might as well. The other panel I need will be with cacti, It's for a father who is a gardener and really loves cacti. Hej Morgan, skal du også være med? Morgan, mor er ved at optage noget. Sorry about that one. As I was saying, I have a father in the family who loves cacti. So now I will cut my free background panels. I color the edges of this one just to have some color, but maybe I should have actually just taken some markers and colored the background. The balls are very easy to color around, but hindsight is always 20/20, right? So green it is, and I'm not going to color the edges of any of the other panels. Maybe I should have done on the cacti one. That one would show at least. The black one wouldn't do much of a difference in my opinion. Some would maybe use some oxides to do it, but I don't own any. So here are my sentiments. Jumping right ahead here, that I made myself. I hand drew them and then I traced them in a program on my computer. So now I just have to make them stand out from the backgrounds. The two first rows are with the plain white cardstock from Gummiapan, and the bottom row is made with Neenah so that I can color it with my alcohol markers without getting stripy. So that's why it has two different colors. I decided to keep the third one white, while the others have color. Now you see here I made a mistake when I made the cut file, and I couldn't see it before it had cut out. Luckily I stopped it before it cut out everything, and went in and corrected my mistake in the vector. So I'm just going to use these in the middle where the D is kind of falling off, so since it will be glued both back and front, it won't matter and no one will see the mistake I made. And to the embellishments, I was hoping I had enough glossy accent for all of the sentiments, but I actually only have for one of them. So I shopped around and found some Nuvo drops, and I have had a lot of problems with my clear Nuvo drop in the past, and I did start out with a problem, but apparently there was only part of it that was very thick. All of a sudden it just flowed right out like glossy accent does, and I was able to get a very thin layer on most of the card. Should have maybe scraped off the thicker parts, but I didn't want to, because with my luck, I would get it all over the card instead, and then I would have to start all over. This one was easy because it was glossy accents. I don't have many problems with that one. Before I used the Nuvos though, I did carry them close to my body to heat them up. It's not that it's cold in my living room where I craft. It seems to make them flow easier. The white one was not so hard to work with though. It was actually, the worst thing was seeing where I had gotten to. The white color of the paper and the white color of the Nuvo drop was not that far off, so I had a bit of trouble seeing how far I had gotten on the letter, if I had gotten all the way to the edge. So, but that one wasn't too bad. But it was this one where I have my problems. You can see it goes on very, very thick here on the G, and also some of the O. But then I have a breakthrough, and then it's kind of like working with glossy accents. That was very nice. So I hope in the future I've gotten rid of all the thick stuff that was in there. And the card does look a little bit funny because there's so much dimension on the G and the O, but only the slighter layer on the rest. But I really didn't want to press my luck with trying to remove it from these two letters. I left the drops to dry overnight, and apparently the moisture of the drops had made some of the letters lift a bit, but only on the Nuvo ones, not on the glossy accent ones. There's only one of those. But I'm just mounting the panel first. I use some Collal All-Purpose in the middle and then some Nuvo on the edge. That should help the card stay somewhat flat, but still stick very well in the long term. Now I just want to fix the few mistakes here where the letters have lifted apart, and I can't get this one to work. This glue bottle, it's actually just going in the trash because I can't get a pin in there at all. But then I decided to just take the needle and put some glue on the paper and then shimmy it in there with the needle so I can press it down and then the letter is flat again. It was actually that easy to fix. I was just so worried that I was going to get glue somewhere I didn't want it. My free cards are done in time for Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed the process and that you'll be back next week for another video. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night.